Today we're testing out a not yet released accessory mounted on my phone right now. This is the SmartCine by Movo and 7 Oak, an all-in-one mobile photo and video rig. Yeah, so let's check it out. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail here because this is a pre-production model. Things may change and what you receive may vary, but it all comes bundled in this hard case with foam padding inserts inside because safety is always first. You'll receive the grip mount with a light and mic attached. This peg you should only be using as a grip and nothing else. It's rubber grip wrapped and fairly weighted, which is a nice touch. 2 lenses are included in my package, a fisheye and a wide angle lens we'll check out later in more detail. There's a microphone cord to connect your external microphone to your device, this soft padded wrist lanyard that'll prevent you from dropping the whole damn thing, and of course instructions you should read but probably won't, so let's move on. Setup is fairly straightforward. The peg has a screw on the top and the grip has a mount on the bottom. Bada bing bada boom. I do recommend you use the lanyard as well though. That simply goes sandwiched in between the 2 pieces and you tighten it all in place. Nothing is going anywhere, but that's it. Stick your hand in the lanyard, hold onto the grip, and this whole video rig setup is ready to go in this fairly small package. Mount your device of choice by unscrewing the top knob. This opens the jaws of life. Although the grip can accommodate a case, I don't recommend it as it creates a gap between the camera and the mounted lenses. So strip down your phone and stick it in like they taught you in high school. Now this is the tricky part though. You want to tighten enough so it doesn't slide out by itself, but then move on to adjusting the ring light so that you can see your camera point out of the little wee hole. It's unfortunate these knobs they use are so tiny and made of plastic. It's a pain to tighten or loosen for anyone with regular sized chicken fingers. After it's all said and done, it still rotates a bit even after you tighten it. I do hope they address this issue in future production models and at the very least make it easier to tighten it all down. But slide your iPhone side to side, do the boogie dance, and voila! Tighten everything in place when you've got visual. Now to set up the mic on any new iPhone, you will need the dingle dongle, given there's no holes to poke it in otherwise. Which brings me to my next annoyance. This wire, there's nowhere to tie it down and just kind of flails around. I tend to just resort to gripping it with the pole when I'm ready to shoot. But if you're wondering, this setup does accommodate most, if not all, phones. This is with the Huawei P20 Pro, the Samsung S9 which has the luxury to directly plug in, and even the gigantic Samsung Note 9. A neat detail I noticed is the extra button notch cutout on the rubber mount. This allows for buttons to sit within the grip and not be constantly pressed, which would be super annoying, so kudos to Movo for thinking that through. And if you're wondering how sturdy this whole setup is, I had no concern doing this. The rubber feet holds everything securely and doesn't scratch up your phone in the process. So yeah, nothing's flying off this rig. So let's see what it can do. So I rigged this together with the SmartCine and the iPhone 8 setup on one end with the extension bar holding the iPhone X on the other end on its own. So first we'll compare photo quality. Now in my opinion, you wouldn't buy this just for photos only as it is a video focused setup. I mean, there is a huge mic mounted on top of it, and if you did want photos only, it's just a burden to carry this extra chunk, but there is a ring light built in. So if you happen to have this setup out and you wanted to take a selfie or a group shot, generally anything close up like 1 to 2 feet away, the ring light adds some really nice soft light to your subject. Anything far away or even a few feet away, the ring light won't do much. It's a small light, and even though it has 3 levels of brightness, it's just not strong enough to affect your image that far away. Now where this really shines is mounting a lens to give you a whole different perspective on your shots. They are made of metal and include caps on both ends. Simply drop it into the center and complain about how tight the space is to actually tighten this lens. But when you get it right, you really don't ever need to take it off. Plus, although having a lens cap keeps everything clean, when it's closed shut, it sits flush with the mount and no space to actually stick my finger under to remove. It'd be nice if there was a tab on top that can pull it right off. But these small annoyances aside, make sure your lens is aligned, which you'll know when you see on your camera that there aren't any black bars around the corners, or flip it around and use some common sense to make sure you can see your camera centered through the lens. Duh. Now I'm not going to focus on the fisheye lens much because it's not a lens you're going to use a lot. It's very wide for anything up close, great for action or even group photos, but it's very soft on the corners. You get a lot of vignetting, and anything up close, it's very unpleasing to the nose. But the real test is when I don't have all these lights and it's not so quiet in the room. So let's test that out. So I'm in the darkest room I can think of, minus the light being on, and super echoey, and I'm gonna turn on this baby for some background noise. So let's get Even this camera is probably struggling with the audio, so you can kind of see what we're gonna get with this regular and the light and the mic. I'm gonna turn this light off and we'll see what we can get with that. So this is what we're getting with the iPhone 8 setup with the ring light on its highest mode and the mic plugged in. With the shower faucet going off to give us some background noise, and it's a really echoey washroom, so you can kind of get see and what you can hear with that. But I'm just speaking now to give you an example of what you're getting. I'm holding it about a foot away from me. You can see the ring light brightens me up perfectly, probably even some of the background, and the mic should capture my voice fine. It's an omnidirectional mic, which means it kind of captures everything around me, so it will still capture the sound of the faucet. So now let's see how the iPhone X does. No light, no mic, just a plain old processing power with the background noise in a dark lit room. So this is the iPhone X with the built-in flash on. We're still in the dark lit room, no other lights are on. We have the window kind of lighting up my back. The shower faucet's still going off. It's a very echoey room, and there's no external microphones on this, so what you hear is what you get straight from the camera. Although the light is a little harsher, I'm about a foot away, but the source of light is really small compared to a ring light, which goes all the way around, much softer. You can see how the hard shadows are hitting my face, and even the background there. So it works, but you get a much nicer light with the ring light. So as I reviewed the iPhone footage I shot while editing, I realized the built-in light on the iPhone is just as good as an external light. So what's the point? And then I realized the point is this. Any other lens you use blocks the capability of using the flash, so it's a trade-off of having a wider shot or a brighter shot, but not both. Which is what makes the SmartCine so smart and useful. You can still have that wide angle shot from their attachable lenses, but still shoot in darker environments. And so the difference is this: holding it handheld about a foot away, the light is on, so I am lit in a darker environment, but it's a very tight shot. And that's compared to this, mounted on the SmartCine about a foot away. Not only is it easier to hold thanks to that added grip, you still have the ring light and a much wider shot in this darker environment now. This is to test out how well it does with wind noise. I have a fan blowing in the background directly at the mic and the phone. This is just on the regular mic audio mode. I'm going to change it to the high pass filter now. This is with the built-in high pass filter turned on. It's meant to reduce a lot of that low frequency noise, such as the wind that's coming from the fan, but in turn also kills a lot of the bass, so my voice may sound kind of sharp or tingy. Basically a lot of the treble that's amplified. What do I know about music? So I only recommend using a high pass filter in a really, really noisy environment. Otherwise, stick to using the normal recording mode, as it does a really great job already. My favorite part about having everything in one place, it means I only have to worry about charging one thing. Although the light can shine for 4 hours on the low mode and about 1 hour on the high, the mic can record for almost over 18 hours according to the spec sheet. So you really don't have to worry about this dying on you during the day. Now, something I didn't touch on much is the headphone jack on the microphone. For anyone unfamiliar with audio recording, this allows you to listen to what you're recording into your device to ensure you're capturing the right source and at the right volume levels. It's a little advanced even for myself to use, but it's a feature that can take your production to the next level. And finally, with that screw mount underneath, don't think you're limited to only the grip that's included. Remove it and you can attach a tripod mount for a sturdy and stable shot. If that's too much to carry, attach a mini tripod and stand it onto a table. It actually doubles as a great phone stand too in this combo. Or don't remove the grip at all. There's a screw mount underneath the grip that'll allow you to do everything I mentioned before, and you can even master the classic Casey Neistat vlog style. Now you're legit. I'm a fan of this handle. It's grippy and soft to the touch. It's also weighted, which allows you to balance the whole rig a lot easier in one hand. I'm very confident it holds everything in place. In comparison, you're probably doing this: two-handed, fingertips on the corners to avoid mis-swiping anything, constantly adjusting your hand to find a comfortable way to hold it while shooting. It's a hassle. And yeah, there's always better ways to do it without the SmartCine too. You could get your own grip, light, and lens. Totally. But not only do you have to deal with several pieces of equipment now, each item alone costs as much, if not more, than a SmartCine rig itself. And look, in the end, here's the truth. If your videos suck, adding a light, making it a wider shot, and having better audio won't fix everything. Learn how to tell a good story first, and then let the SmartCine make it easier for you to record it. In the end, the killer feature is this: everything is built into one. That means no more fumbling around with the light or a mic, adding lenses. It's all built in, and all you gotta do is slide in your phone. Now, of course, it's not perfect, and there are trade-offs you have to make for an all-in-one system. The first one being you can't use a case on your phone if you plan on using their lenses, as it causes a gap between your camera and the lens, which causes some distortion and just some funny things to go on. Secondly, it's great that the grip and ring light can adjust to any size phone, but I do wish they changed these knobs here, that they're so close together, it's hard to twist and it kind of just hurts to use. Luckily, what I have here is a pre-production model, so details like these knobs can be updated, but the general functionality like the ring light and the added mic will still be there. So if you like using your phone as your main camera, you plan on vlogging, or just want smoother footage, the SmartCine is an all-in-one package that solves a lot of issues that handheld mobile video has. Anyways, if you like what you see, they're currently crowdfunding this to get into full production. All the links are down below. A big shout out to Movo and 7O for sponsoring this video. It's a huge support for what I do on this channel, but all opinions expressed are from my own experience. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment down below if you use your phone as your main camera. Ow. I rest my handle light audio mic.